I joined Akash in 9th standard. So I joined early. I gave ANTHE in 8th standard. Pretty much a game-changing moment for me. Now I'm competing all across India.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. How are you all doing? So nice to see you. Hi, Ayush, Lakshmi, Kaja, Shreya. Hello. Prajapati, Girija, Suman. Hi, hi, hi. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Devyanshu, Virendra, Krishna Priya, Shelja, Akansha, Ishanvi, Ashvi. Hi, study law. Yes, I remember you, but you need to tell me your name again so that I can call you by your name. Bhardwaj, Fakar, Sana, Nana. Hi, all right. So many of you already here. Very excited to get started. And we're getting started with, as you can see, the sample question paper analysis. So we're going to analyze, obviously you already have the solutions. CBSE has already given you the solutions. We are going to analyze why those are the correct answers in case you get stuck anywhere. Please ask me all your doubts, and we're going to take a comprehensive view of the entire question paper, and then we will also have individual sessions on the sections that you want. So we definitely have a literature session coming in where we'll go through all the chapters. We will definitely have a writing session coming in where we'll see how to analyze the paragraphs and have a for or against argument, and analytical paragraph is something that a lot of you seem to not like so much, so about that. And then obviously approaches that you can take with reading comprehension. If you would like a session on that, we can have a session on that as well. Okay? No, Nikhil, it's not very tough. It will become very easy after you understand the approach that you need to take. All right? Yes, Gauransh, we are live. Yes, Shrivalli. All right. Okay. I'm very good, Lakshmi. So I would have come to you with this session last week itself, but unfortunately last week I wasn't doing too well. I had a fever. I'm all fine now. So here we are. And let's get started without further ado. I want this to be a very conversational session where you ask me your doubts, you give me your answers so that we keep talking throughout. And we're not going to go into too much detail, but we are going to go into enough detail for you to be able to understand. So if there's a question that I have skipped that you would like for me to answer, please point it out. I have the sample paper next to me, so I'll go right to it. We'll address that question, all right? So, okay, if you want to pull out your sample paper separately for better readability, you can do that, or we can go through it together. But before we start, you already know the breakup of your paper: reading section, writing section, and literature section. You know that literature carries the most marks. Okay, you have 20 marks for reading, 20 marks for writing, in which 10 marks you have for grammar. So you already know the breakdown. You know how many questions to attempt out of what and all of this, how many marks each question carries. And there's a mix of multiple choice and subjective answers, correct? So, Suman, I'm giving you the answers right now, but I can get all these links for you in the description box or in the Telegram channel so that you can have access to both the PDFs, okay? Alright, so let's get started. Aditya, syllabus हो जाएगा अभी तो काफ़ी टाइम है पूरा syllabus करने में. 4-5 महीने हैं हमारे पास, so don't worry, we'll get started and slowly we'll cover all the syllabus. So now let's start with approach. I think that's the most important, because अभी हम कर भी लेंगे reading paragraph, we might go through it, we might answer all the questions, but you're not going to get the same paragraph in your exam, right? You will get a different paragraph. So what we need to know is how to approach the paragraph rather than इस paragraph में क्या क्या answers है, okay? So we'll use this as an example. Now you know the two kind of passages that you're going to get. You're going to get a discursive passage, you're going to get a case-based factual passage. Main difference between both is discursive is a very descriptive passage and it's giving you the author's opinion about something. So you might or might not agree with what the author is saying. इसमें those of you who've read it, ये mountains के बारे में, it's about mountain climbing. You might not agree with what the author is saying here, okay? And that's up to you, that's your opinion. But we will be answering questions based on the passage. So we will be answering question based on the author's opinion, the author of this passage. ठीक है? And case-based factual passage, there is no room for opinions because we have facts, we have statistics, we have graphs, we have numbers, we have percentages, we have all of these mathematical figures to give us facts about something. तो उसमें कोई गुंजाइश नहीं है कि ये मेरा opinion अलग है, मेरे हिसाब से ये 12% होना चाहिए था, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It's going to be very factual. So you have to approach them like that. Now here, the discursive passage, there are two ways to go about it. You can either read the passage first and then answer questions, or you can read the questions first, come back and find the answers to those questions in the passage. It depends on your reading speed, it depends on how much time you have in the paper, and it depends on how comfortable you are with which approach. So there's no right or wrong approach. But generally speaking, because you have a 15-minute prior reading time, you should utilize that time to read the passage. Might not be the case for case-based factual passage, lekin discursive passage, if you read it beforehand, then you'll get the gist of the passage. And once you get the gist of the passage, when you start answering questions, you will sort of already know what the answer is. You will just have to refer quickly back to the passage and find out that exact point in the passage where that thing was discussed. Okay? So you will have a little bit of familiarity with the passage that will help you. ठीक है? Okay. So another thing you can do is you identify keywords. A passage देखते ही पता चल जाएगा कि किस किस चीज़ के बारे में questions पूछ सकते हैं. You know. Alright? So just be mindful of those things so that you make a mental bookmark and you know exactly where those things are in the passage. So when you see a question about it, you can come back to it. Alright, and you know the structure of each passage. You know there will be an introduction, there will be a body, there will be a conclusion. So truly understand where the author is going with this passage, what they are trying to convey. That's important. Okay, so give me a thumbs up if you've already read the passage. I'm sure a lot of you have. Girija, the only way to approach synonyms and antonyms is to know the synonyms and antonyms. You need to know the meaning of the word. It's a purely vocabulary based thing. Okay, ठीक है, so everyone has read. Great. So we'll just go directly to the question here and we'll just try answering some questions. Yeah, this is a multiple choice question. So why does the writer say that mountains inspire awe in humans? Okay, now we'll go to that point in the passage where the writer says this. And you can see mountains have always been held in great awe by mankind. And the very next sentence says they have been a challenge to humans. Those brave among us have always wanted to conquer them. You see, the more incredible the mountains, the greater the thrill. A challenge to the bravery of the human race. Okay? So, through these sentences, we understand that the reason why humans have always held mountains in great awe is because it looks like such a difficult thing to approach and conquer that it's a challenge for them, and humans always like challenge. Okay, so that's why if we go back and read the answer options here, A says they present us with opportunities for exciting sports. B says they evoke the wish in us to master them. C says they inspire in us deeds of valor. And D, they represent peace and calm to us. While mountains can represent any of these things to anybody, what did I tell you? We need to answer these questions based on the passage, based on the author's opinion. So even if you think, wow, mountains are so peaceful and calming and I like them because they represent peace and calm, that might be correct for you, but that is not correct for the author and for the passage. Okay? So, according to the passage, and here you can find a very direct correlation. It says here that we've always wanted to conquer them. The word conquer is there. And one of your answer options says the exact same thing. They evoke the wish in us to master them. Mastering something and conquering something is the same thing, right? You have power over it, correct? So, we very clearly, by reading the very next line, here is the line with awe in it, and the very next line is telling us that the answer should be B. So they evoke the wish in us to master them. Mastering, conquering, more or less the same thing. So another hack here is to look for synonyms or similar meanings of sentences. That will lead you directly to the correct answer. Alright? ठीक है? Great. So now we have the next question. The writer compares training to penance in the line. Then comes the penance of the rigorous training. Okay, ये question answer करने के लिए पहले पता होना चाहिए penance क्या होती है. Alright, so what is penance? Now penance, usually it has two meanings. It can be, especially in the religious sense, if you have committed a sin. So you are given a certain task or you're asked to do something so that you can wash that sin away, or that so you can make up for the sin that you have committed. That is penance. And it's usually a very hard thing to do. You know, to give you an example, अगर आपने कुछ जैसे कोई बोले कि ये पाप हो गया है मेरे से, अब मैं इस पाप का पश्चाताप कैसे करूँ, that is penance. Okay? And वो करने के लिए बहुत अलग अलग चीज़ें सब बोलते हैं. Every religion has their own ways of dealing with this. So that act is called penance. And penance can also mean doing something that a very difficult task that you don't like doing at all. Okay? So in this case, the writer compares training to penance. And where is that line? We will see in the passage here. Then comes the penance of rigorous training. This could very well be the lifeline up there. So rigorous training means बहुत मुश्किल training. ठीक है? It's something that you have to keep. You cannot just train for one day and prepare for mountain climbing. You know, you have to give it months and sometimes even years. It's very hard on your body. It's very hard on your mind. Okay, so it's that kind of training. So इसमें that connection you can directly make, that training to climb a mountain is extremely difficult. And what did I tell you? Penance is also usually very difficult. That is one connection you have made. Another connection is कि when you are doing something that is hard, it's very easy to give up, right? If you are studying and then you don't understand anything, you will easily give up. But to keep trying is to have perseverance, right? So another connection we can make with rigorous training and penance is that you need perseverance to do both of these things. Otherwise you will give up, right? So those are the two answers that CBSE has given you. If you can think of any other connection, you give it to me right now. Srivalli, you don't have to become a master. You don't have to master vocabulary, but it's always good to improve your vocabulary. And for reading comprehension, there will be words that you won't understand in the passage. When that happens, don't freak out. Don't think that you're going to fail. You can guess the meanings of certain words. And the way to guess the meanings of certain words is to read the sentences before and after that. So if there's a, for example, if we are reading this, the enthusiasts must develop in themselves a spirit of adventure, willingness to undertake hardships and risks. Okay, if here I don't know the meaning of hardships, for example, then I will read the rest of the sentence. I will say the enthusiasts must develop in themselves a spirit of adventure, willingness to undertake hardships and risks. And risks, मतलब hardships का meaning कुछ risks से related होना चाहिए. Okay? So, if you have other words in the sentence that can sort of help you guess the meaning, use those words. If you have other sentences in the paragraph that can help you guess the meaning, use those words. Okay? No, Aditya, that would be cheating because sometimes the questions are directly related to the meaning of certain words, right? इसमें अगर penance का मतलब आपको पता चल गया तो आप question answer कर दोगे, नहीं पता चलेगा तो शायद थोड़ी मुश्किल होगी, नहीं कर पाओगे, तो इसमें नहीं बता सकते. See, Nikhil, not entirely. You can make mistakes. Now, don't make such grave mistakes that we can't understand your answer, okay? You should, even if you make some mistakes here and there, that won't work against you as long as your thoughts are clear and you're answering the question properly, okay? Now here, so we had to state one point of similarity between training and penance. We know both are very difficult. That's already one point. और सोचना है तो both require perseverance. If you can think of another point, you tell me in the chat. I'll tell you if it works or not, okay? So सिर्फ जो 2 points दिए हुए आंसर की में, those are not the only correct points. There can be multiple correct answers. So you give me, if you want to try, you can try giving me an answer in the chat and I'll tell you if it's correct or not. Okay? All right. Here's the next question. The writer, okay, we've already answered. What connect does the writer draw out between unpredictable weather and setting up of camps? Okay. Now here, this part, so this paragraph of the passage over here talks about how if there is unpredictable weather, then that is the most dangerous thing for mountain climbers, because all of their planning depends on the weather. Because when there is sunshine and when the sky is clear, that is the best time for them to climb. And when there is a snowstorm, that is the best time for them to set up camp so that they can wait it out, because it will be dangerous to climb the mountain during a storm. Correct? So here, if you read, at higher altitude, snow is a regular feature and being decisive about setting up camps or proceeding further is crucial. The icy sheets after ice storms make walking treacherous, while the powdery snow makes a mountaineer sink deep into the snow. Up there, where the intention is to embrace nature's wonder, one realizes that it cannot be done without facing its formidable glory. Okay? So, what connection does the writer draw out between unpredictable weather and setting up of camps? The writer simply says what we just discussed, that if the weather is unpredictable, it becomes very, very difficult to plan whether you should climb or whether you should set up camp. Okay? Simple. Your answer is given. Now, another very important tip to remember for reading comprehension is to never copy paste the words that are given in the passage. If you do that, you will not get marks, because you're supposed to show that you're able to comprehend the passage that is given, right? So if you just simply pick out the same sentence and paste it as your answer, then the person checking your paper will know instantly that you have not understood the passage. Okay, so you need to make sure that you are writing your answers in your own words to show that you have truly understood. Okay, ये बताने के लिए कि मुझे समझ में आ गया है पैसेज में क्या है, you need to write everything in your own words. Do not copy paste. Okay. Now, there we are. Infer one reason for the following based on information in paragraph 1. The rate of tourism in the northeast of India puzzles tourism officials. So we have reached our case-based factual passage. Okay. अगर कोई ऐसे questions है अभी भी in the discursive passage that you have doubts about, let me know. I will take a look at it and I will get back to you. We have now moved on to case-based. Now, in the case-based factual passage, one thing to remember is that these are facts. They cannot be refuted, and you need to just understand the facts or the statistics that are given in the passage. Alright? Aditya, we will go through जो एडिटिंग के क्वेश्चंस हैं अभी सैम्पल पेपर में वो हम करेंगे. उसके बाद भी डाउट्स होंगे तो डेफिनेटली विल मेक अनदर वीडियो ऑन दैट. डोंट वरी. ओके, ठीक है. सो नाउ हियर they've told you exactly which paragraph to read. Now that's why I'm saying that the QP approach can work in the case-based factual passage, or in situations like this where you know exactly which paragraph you need to refer to. So you won't waste your time reading the other paragraphs. If you're short on time, then you can just read the paragraph that the question is asking about. So इसमें हमें पता है कि हमारा आंसर पैराग्राफ 1 में है, तो हम पैराग्राफ 1 पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है. So now, and what are we looking for? The rate of tourism in the northeast of India puzzles tourism officials. Okay. Now here infer one reason for the following. So we need to come up with a reason. Okay. So the northeast of India is a melting pot of variegated cultural mosaic of people and races and ethnic tapestry of many hues and shades. Yet these states are lesser explored as compared to the rest of the country. तो इसमें एक हमें contrast पहली 2 lines में ही समझ में आ गया. Okay? In the first 2 lines itself, we can see that Northeast has such great things. It's a melting pot of variegated cultural mosaic of people. इसका मतलब कि कितने अलग अलग टाइप के लोग and races and cultures live in this region. Okay? And it's an ethnic tapestry of many hues and shades. So that's a मेटाफर एन एथनिक टैपेस्ट्री. टैपेस्ट्री क्या होता है? इट्स जस्ट अ फैब्रिक जिसपे बहुत सुंदर सुंदर डिजाइन बनाए होते हैं. Okay, and you can use that to hang on your wall, or you can just leave it in your house. So they're comparing all these different beautiful people and races and cultures that live there to a tapestry with many hues and shades. So it has so much to offer. Now yet, here's a contrast word. Yet these states are lesser explored as compared to the rest of the country. Okay, so here is where the rate of tourism in the northeast of India puzzles tourism officials. इसका reason यही आ गया that despite having so much to offer, one of these states are lesser explored as compared to the other states in the country. Okay. So Ayush, you're saying how to choose the correct option when two options in the question seem correct. So if both of them seem correct, then you need to reanalyze what the questions are saying. There will be some very subtle, very small, very nuanced difference. Look for synonyms. If you find synonyms in the answer that are synonyms of things given in the passage, then you know that will be the correct answer. And just understand, see, there's no way, if there was a hack for this, then you would have never gotten the answer wrong. So it all depends completely on your understanding of the passage. So you need to understand the passage properly, and then there will be strong distractors, and they're put there for a reason. They're put there to distract you. So you just need to read the passage carefully, understand what the question is asking. See, the answer needs to always be a to the point answer to the question. Sometimes another option seems correct because it is correct, but it's not exactly answering the question. It might be correct according to the passage, but is it answering the question appropriately? That you need to look out for. Okay. All right, so this is done. Next we'll see, now these are some questions that are very specific to the case-based factual passage, because we need to analyze data in these passages, right? Because these are all based on facts, and a great way of giving facts is giving data. Okay, so here select the chart that appropriately represents the trend of foreign tourist travels in the Northeast from 2011 to 2014. Okay, and it also tells us which paragraph to look at. So we'll go directly to that paragraph, paragraph 2. Now we'll look for the data from 2011 to 2014. So here we can see there we go. So a high in positive growth of 12.53% was registered during 2012 from 2011, which further rose to 27.93 during 2013 from 2012. Okay, then from 2013 to 2014, it witnessed a growth of 39.77. Okay, so if you just plot this also, if you're looking at growth, and if we put the years over here, okay, on 2011 to 2014, first it was somewhere at 12, okay, from 2011 to 2012, then from 12% it jumped straight to 27.93%, it jumped somewhere here, and then it jumped to 39.77%, so almost here. So we can see that the trajectory is steadily growing. Okay, it has only increased, it has not come down. Even if we don't plot it exactly, I don't want you to sit and make all your y-axis entries and make the graph accurately, but just generally speaking, if you try to plot it, you will see that it has only grown. Even if you don't plot it, just by looking at the data from 12 to 27 to 39, you can see that it's growing. So obviously the option is the one that shows growth, which is option 2. Okay. So this kind of data analysis will come in handy for you in this case-based passage. Great. Now, list any two examples of tourist facilities as referred to in paragraph 3. Again, see, now the QP approach is so helpful here because we're not wasting time reading everything again and again. Okay, the question is telling us which paragraph to refer to, and we are going exactly to that paragraph. So if most of the questions, you take a glance, if most of the questions tell you which paragraph to refer to, then you can easily do the questions passage approach. Okay, but this is mostly not the case with discursive passage. So discursive passage, generally speaking, passage question approach will help you more. Okay, now here, what tourist facilities are referred to in paragraph 3? Now, the study recommendations for tourism planners included the need to concentrate on some key areas like enhancement of tourist facilities. Here it is. Tourist financing, focus on community involvement, and others for the formulation of a... Okay, now here, you're using your own prior knowledge to sort of elaborate what is already given here. Now, just use basic plain logic as Aditya is doing. What do tourists need when they go to any place? You also think about what you have required in the past when you have visited some other city. Yes, so you require hotels, you require restaurants. So that comes under accommodation. So that could also include camps, it could include hostels. Okay, then you obviously want something to do over there when you visit a place. So that requires parks, gardens, museums, shopping malls, you know. You need to take care of the monuments, you need to make sure they're in a good condition, so tourists would want to come and visit. You need to have certain facilities for the tourists to make their life easier there. For example, currency exchange is one thing, especially when foreign tourists come. If they want to shop from local shops, their currency notes won't work over here, so just an easy place where they can exchange their currency for the local currency. Very good. Travel is very important. You will need some mode of communication to go sightseeing or go from your hotel to some other place. So you will need taxis, cabs, okay? So all of these things will make the experience for the tourists very, very smooth, okay? All right. And another interesting thing that you was in the marking scheme also is digital upgrades like Wi-Fi availability. So you know about digital nomads these days. You know people who are working from home or doing freelance work where they're not required to be in an office. All they need is the internet to work out of anywhere. So you can attract such crowd to places. You can say that, you know, come spend a month here in the mountains or spend a month here in the northeast and have a great time, and you don't have to take leaves. You can work at the same time. So for such things, you need to give facilities like internet, Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay. So that's a very good point. So whatever you can think of that, you know, you would make your life easier at a tourist destination, that can come under tourist facilities. We have cited like 10 examples. All you had to do was cite 2. Very easily you will get marks for such a question. Okay. All right, we're already done. We already have our 20 marks. Great job, everyone. If you have any other doubts, like I said, for any question that you didn't understand, tell me the question number. I will go take a look at it in my PDF and answer it for you. Clear your doubts. Okay. So now we are moving on to our section B, which is our writing and grammar section. So here we're dealing with grammar first. You have 12 questions, out of which you are attempting only 10. So you have the option of leaving out the questions that you get a little bit confused about. Reported speech, mostly. Okay. But it's okay. We'll understand those questions as well. And you will be able to attempt all 12. You don't have to, but you will have the ability to. Okay, already getting answers for the first question. Very easy. So the climate control comment by an activist blank on social media yesterday. You have this word over here, yesterday, giving away the tense very easily. Okay, obviously because it happened yesterday, it happened in the past. The only option in past tense is blew up. So simple. What an easy question, right? So what does it mean to blow up on the internet? It means that it went viral. Everyone is looking at it. Everyone is talking about it. Everybody is forwarding it on WhatsApp. Okay? All right. So next we have a reported speech question. Let's read the conversation and answer. Yes, AAA, BBB, A3, B3 to explode in popularity. Correct. Okay. Now here, doctor. Do you feel down from time to time, Mr. Gopalan? Patient. Yes, I do not stay in a good mood. So now we are converting this to reported speech, this conversation. Let's note a few things before we do that. So here we are saying, yes, I do not stay in a good mood when, from, time to time. These are our two clues. Okay, so whenever we know the reported speech, instantly what we'll do, we'll change the tense, we'll change the pronoun. Okay, we'll change any other words like yesterday and today and tomorrow. Okay, but the things that we need to look out for is whether or not this is a universal truth, whether or not this is a habitual action, because these things are exceptions. These are times when we don't apply our tense rule. Okay, so what is telling us in this conversation that this is a habitual thing? It's the word time to time. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? The word time to time over here lets us know that whatever the patient is facing is a habitual thing. Alright? Time to time matlab क्या आपको कभी कभी do you feel down? Then the patient says, yes, I do not stay in a good mood. So because the patient is agreeing, we know this is a habitual thing that happens from time to time, which tells us that we will not change the tense. Okay? So we will say the patient affirmed that I will change to he. He does not stay in a good mood. And the only reason that we're changing do to does is not tense. It's to agree with the subject. The pronoun has changed. Okay, to agree with the pronoun. With I we use do, with he or she we use does. Okay? Correct. So that's why we are changing do. It's not a tense thing. It's an SVA thing. Alright. So the answer to this question is that he does not stay in a good mood. So look out for such words in your reported speech. Otherwise, it's very easy to say that he did not stay in a good mood. But the reason why it's not did is because it was not a one-time thing that happened in the past. It is something that happens habitually. Okay? Next. Select the correct option to fill in the blank. Okay. Now, this is in a health magazine. The advertisement read, if you smoke, statistically, your story blank and 15% before it should. Alright. So, it is a warning, but it's just a warning. It's not a very harsh warning, but it's telling you what is a possibility if you smoke. Okay, if you smoke. So obviously the possibility will materialize only in the future. जो भी अगर आप अभी smoke करते हो तो जो भी होना है वो बाद में होगा. थोड़े time smoke करने के बाद में होगा. This tells us that the answer is will. Right? Correct. Hi Purna, welcome. Alright, easy? Great. Fantastic. Smart cookies in the chat today. Correct, future, so will. Very good, Rohan. Very simply put. Okay, let's go back. Again, that's because ought to A3, B3 is what I'm calling you, would be a very harsh sort of, not even a suggestion. It will show a very harsh compulsion. You ought to do something means that you have to do it. Okay? Now here you can substitute it like that. If in something you can say have, then you can substitute that with ought. Okay? But here we are saying कि ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा. Okay? We are not saying ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. Okay? That's the difference. ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा. ऐसा करोगे तो ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. So ought to is होना चाहिए. Will is हो जाएगा. Okay, here, error correction. Who was the one with a doubt over here? Come on, come on. So, last week a child was not allowed to board the plane at Ranchi airport. Okay? Here, we need to just pick out the option. So, here we are not looking. There are two kinds of error correction questions and this is the easier one. Kyunki isme you have the options, you're just picking out acha. This doesn't seem right, so this should be the correct answer. When you have to pick out the error on your own, it gets a little more trickier then. ये फिर भी easy है थोड़ा सा, right? So, last week a child was not allowed to board the plane at Ranchi airport. इसमें we know that when do we use articles? We use articles before nouns. Why do we use articles? We either use them to show that if the thing that we are talking about is a specific thing that everybody knows about, or is it something that we are referring to for the first time? It gives a certain kind of information about the noun. ठीक है? Now इसमें last week a child was not allowed to board the plane at Ranchi airport. When we look at this sentence, first of all, a child, fine, we are talking about the child for the first time. But the plane, are we talking about the plane for the first time? Yes, we still are talking about the plane for the first time. And is there only one plane at an airport? एक ही plane होता है airport में कि सबको पता होगा कि अच्छा वही plane है. No, there are multiple planes. It could be any plane, right? So it's not a specific plane we are talking about. It is not the only plane. We have not spoken about this plane any time before. So just like the child is unknown to us, even the plane is unknown to us, right? We're hearing about it for the very first time. So why are we using the before plane? Doesn't make sense, correct? So just by analyzing the articles in this sentence, we know that the answer should be C. The should be a. Yes, C it is. Very good. Okay. Now, complete the given narrative by filling in the blank. So, as I was standing on the dock, looking out at the lake for the last time, a feeling of emptiness blank over me like darkness. Ooh, very deep line, but very easy word that will give us the answer. Was. Was indicates that this happened in the past. Okay. But that only helps us eliminate two options, will wash and will have washed. We still have had washed and washed. Okay? And some of you are saying B, some of you are saying D. So as I was standing on the dock looking out at the lake for the last time, a feeling of emptiness blank over me like darkness. इसमें हम ये देखेंगे कि how does the sentence start? As I was standing. ठीक है? As I was doing something मतलब same time में हो रहा है. Whatever actions we are talking about, they are happening at the same time. Okay? Past perfect आप use करते हो when we are talking about an action that happened before another action in the past. So it's past in the past. ठीक है? तो अगर for example, as I was standing on the dock, से पहले मैंने कुछ किया होता, then I would have used past perfect for it. Right? But here, as I'm standing, simultaneously something else is happening. Okay? So there's no more past action than the past action. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the timeline. ठीक है? इस timeline में ये present है. तो इसके पहले जो भी है वो past है. Right? And in the past, I was standing, maybe at this point, I was standing, इसी को dock बना देते हैं. I was standing on the dock looking out the lake. And as I was standing on the dock and looking at the lake, I felt emptiness washed over me. Right? Happened then only. It didn't happen here, it didn't happen here, it didn't happen here. Okay? So, there's no need to use past perfect tense. So, had washed will be incorrect in this situation. Okay? So, the correct answer would be washed. A feeling of emptiness washed over me like darkness. And as Ayush has very rightly pointed out, moreover, it sounds more correct. And a lot of times it's just your intuition. You speak English, you hear English all the time. There are certain things that sound correct, there are certain things that sound wrong. और वो अगर wrong sound कर रहा है तो उसका मतलब उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है. Okay? So the correct answer is washed in this case. Great. And sometimes your intuition, especially with tenses, is correct. Because we're so used to speaking, but we're not used to analyzing कि हम बोलते बोलते कौन सा tense use कर रहे हैं. हमें नहीं समझ में आता है, पर हम सही use करते हैं. Okay? तो अगर आपको सुनने में सही लग रहा है, smooth लग रहा है, तो most probably correct होगा. So trust your intuition. But if it goes against some rule that you know for sure, then you need to reanalyze it. Okay? All right. Now again, we have the word given in the bracket. We just have to use the correct form of that word. So here, this is a letter. Subject is request for approval. Dear sir, this is to respectfully submit that I blank approval for organizing a tree plantation drive to be undertaken by the club. Very easy. इसमें कुछ change करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. Okay? It will remain seek only. Okay? Anybody thinks otherwise? Okay, पहेलू, मैं आपको बता दूंगी, टेंशन मत लो. Okay, Rohan thinks it should be am seeking. This is to respectfully submit that I am seeking approval for all. See, you have submitted your report. After you have submitted your report, you have done your bit. That action that you have written, not report, letter. So the action is completed from your end. Okay? So it's not something that is continuing, that very action of seek. This is something that you will habitually keep doing until and unless you get the approval. Okay? Unless and until you get the approval, you will seek. Okay? But you will not continue the action of writing this letter or saying that, I'm seeking. Okay? It's not something that you're consciously doing. For example, in my life, there are certain, I'm a Kathak dancer. Okay? So there are points in my life where I will do Kathak. Okay? I will do it maybe today evening, I'll do it tomorrow evening, I'll do it day after tomorrow. Okay? But that doesn't mean that I am doing it all the time. So I cannot say I am continuously doing Kathak, but this is something I do habitually. It's in my routine. Similarly, until you get the approval that you're looking for, you are still seeking the approval, but you are not consciously working on it. So that's not an action that you keep doing. Okay? ऐसा नहीं है कि जब तक आपको अप्रूवल नहीं मिलेगा, ऐसा तो नहीं है कि कोई भी आपके पास आएगा और पूछेगा आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप बोलोगे मैं आई एम सीकिंग अप्रूवल. नो, राइट? दैट्स नॉट अ कांस्टेंट एक्शन दैट यू आर इन. करेक्ट? So that's why you will not say am seeking, you will just say seek. All right. Now here is another reported speech question. Here you have Hansen, Grandpa, who are your superheroes? Grandpa, anyone who shows kindness and compassion to others. Okay, this is the conversation. Now, in response to the question about his superheroes, grandfather says that. Now, reported speech का फंडा ये होता है कि हम लोग इसको बाद में रिपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. ओके? पर आप कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि मेरी अभी 1 मिनट पहले बात हुई थी और मैंने अभी बोल दिया, या मैं किसी से बात कर रही हूँ और एकदम से आप आ गए और आपने वो ही बात नहीं सुनी और मैंने कुछ 5 सेकंड बाद आपको वो बात बताई. तो लॉजिकली ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना कि जो आप रिपोर्ट कर रहे हो दैट कैन हैपन इंस्टेंटली आफ्टर समबडी हैज सेड समथिंग. वी गो विद द असम्पशन यूजुअली कि हम बाद में रिपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, वी आर रिपोर्टिंग समथिंग लेटर, बट sometimes you can report it instantly after somebody has said it too, in case somebody didn't hear. ठीक है? तो हम लोग जब अपने आप से आंसर करेंगे, देन हम लोग रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब जो यूज करते हैं वो पास्ट टेंस ही यूज करेंगे. When we are writing the answers ourselves, we will always say asked, said, told, ओके, बट अभी हमारे ब्लैंक से पहले they've already given us says over here and not said. ठीक है, says दिया हुआ है, said नहीं दिया हुआ, तो हम सेम टेंस फॉलो करेंगे. ओके, हम टेंस नहीं चेंज करेंगे, जो रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब का टेंस है हम उसी को फॉलो करेंगे. सो ग्रैंडफादर सेज दैट इट इज anyone who shows kindness and compassion to others. In response to the question about his superheroes, grandfather says that it is anyone who shows kindness or compassion to others. ठीक है? Okay, now Nunu 38. Even though your answer is correct, there are some SVA problems in your sentence. Those who show kindness and compassion to others, not shows kindness, show kindness, okay? Because those becomes plural. Those की बात कर रहे हैं तो हम एक से ज्यादा इंसान की बात कर रहे हैं ना. So, what kind of verb will we use there? We'll use a plural verb. So, those who show kindness. Okay, great. Now here, identify the error in the given sentence from a school magazine report and supply the correction. तो इसमें हमें खुद correction supply करनी है. We're supposed to give our own correction. The correct sentence is, grandfather says that those, it is anyone. So इसमें अलग अलग तरीका है. So that was one approach that a few of you had given. Those who, we can also say anyone who shows kindness. इसमें anyone, we've gone through this in the SVA session. Was it for, okay, if not, then with anyone, someone, all these kinds of words we always use, all these kinds of pronouns always take a singular verb. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए anyone who shows kindness is correct, but those who show kindness is correct. ठीक है, anyone, someone, no one, somebody, anybody, इन सब के साथ we will always use a singular verb. ठीक है, all right. Now identify the error. खुद से identify करना है. Yeah, triple A, triple B, it's completely fine if you don't use the word those. You can word it any way that you like as long as it's correct. हाँ, intelligent boy. आप intelligent हो, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि हम लेंगे session. चिंता क्यों करते हो? We have a one-shot literature coming up this Wednesday only. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, now here let's read the sentence and spot the error. In order to balancing the sentiments of the Eagles and the Hawks, the student council suggested a rematch between the teams. बोलते हुए अजीब लग गया मुझे. I struggled to say it because I instantly realized the mistake over here. Correct? Yes, very good. The error, you're supposed to give the error first. Error is balance. अगर आपने ऐसे कर दिया, error की जगह पे correct लिख दिया, correction की जगह पे error लिख दिया, तो भी marks नहीं मिलेंगे. Error की जगह पे error, correction की जगह पे correction. Okay? So, balancing is wrong. Correction is balance. In order to balance the sentiments of the Eagles and Hawks, the student council suggested a rematch. ING form की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है इसमें. All right? Okay. Puna, my name is Asmita. Welcome. Okay. Now, another reported speech. Here we are reporting a question. When we report a question, is it still a question? Tell me quickly. Tell me in the chat कि जब हम questions report करते हैं, क्या वो questions ही होते हैं reported speech में भी? No. Ayush is saying nope. What about the others? Very good. So, they're never a question in reported speech. They're always a statement or a sentence. And Because when we have yes or no questions, to change them into a sentence, we use the words if and whether. So you could use if, you could use whether. Whether के spelling में confusion हो रहा है तो if use कर लो. If is easy, right? Okay. So here we okay. A3B3 has given me a sentence पर उसमें एक छोटी सी गलती है. There's a little mistake. And how will we catch that mistake? Let's see who catches that mistake. नहीं, if is correct. If or whether, you can use either of them, whatever you want. Very good. You caught your own mistake. Great job. So इसमें the question is in past tense, no? Enjoy base form hai. That's the only verb you're looking for. But you're forgetting that this is also a verb. Did, do, did, does. ये भी तो helping verb है. Okay? And did over here is telling us that the question is in the past tense. तो past से past जाने के लिए हम किस में जाएंगे? Past perfect में जाएंगे. Correct? So the correct answer will be Tariq asked Sunil whether he had enjoyed traveling by sea or if he had enjoyed traveling by sea. Science and Tricks is asking me said की जगह told use करते हैं. इसमें I have told you one thing. अगर मैं generally बोल रही हूँ, मैंने आपको नहीं बोला, ठीक है? मैंने पूर्णा को नहीं बोला, मैंने ईशानवी को नहीं बोला, जनरली सबको बोला, तो मैं बोलूंगी, आप बोल सकते हो कि अस्मिता सेड, ओके? बट अगर मैं आपको बोल रही हूँ, अगर मैं ईशानवी को बोल रही हूँ, तो ईशानवी बोलेगी अस्मिता टोल्ड मी, ठीक है? तो जब ऑब्जेक्ट ऐसे आ जाता है तो टोल्ड के साथ हमेशा एक ऑब्जेक्ट यूज करो, अदरवाइज इट्स रॉन्ग, ठीक है? जनरली वी यूज, सो इट्स नॉट दैट आई टोल्ड एंड आई सेड इज द सेम थिंग. I said is correct, but I told will be wrong until I tell you कि मैंने किसको बोला. So, अच्छा, okay, wow, intelligent boy, thank you. But हाँ, आप किसको बोलोगे वो mention करना जरूरी है told के साथ. Said के साथ वो mention करना जरूरी नहीं है. Remember this, okay? Otherwise, if you use told without specifying told to whom, it will sound wrong, it will be wrong. You will... Acha. Okay. Alright. So, did. Focus on the did over here. That gives you the clue that it is in the past tense. Don't just look at enjoy and get confused. And then, accordingly, in your reported speech, it will be had enjoyed. Okay? Okay, thank you so much, Secret Sensation. I'm touched. Alright, so either all full caps may you have a sentence. Blank, we afford to neglect children. Think twice. Okay? So here, it's a very, all your options are modal verbs, right? They're all modal verbs. And all of you are saying can would be the correct answer. But A3B3 is doubtful. Can question mark. Be confident in your answer. Yes, so everyone's saying can. No, doubt only over here. Can we afford to neglect children? Think twice. Okay, so modal verb is a verb that we use to either talk about ability, to ask for permission, to make a request, okay? So to make a suggestion, to do all of these different things, we will use modal verbs. So all these words that you see over here are all modal verbs, okay? So here, if I want to, for example, ask for permission, I will use the modal verb may, okay? May I go to the washroom, as many of you ask in school, right? That's asking for permission. If I want to talk about my ability, then I can say I can speak English. Isme can is a modal verb that's used for ability. So if you have doubts regarding this, then we can obviously have a session on modal verbs. Arun is asking me why can over here. Okay. We are asking a question. We're asking a question, and here we want to know if it is possible for us to neglect children. I mean, and what are the bad outcomes that can come out of neglecting children? ठीक है? So we're trying to ask that question. Now you try to fit the rest of these words in and see which one makes the most sense. Will we afford to neglect children? इसमें तो doubt नहीं है. When you're using will, you're saying कि ये तो मैं करूँगा. इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. So it cannot be a. So will we neglect children? That can be a question. Will we neglect children? Because उसमें we are asking कि क्या हम ये करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे. इसमें we are trying to ask क्या हम ये कर सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते. That's the difference. Okay? Neglect means ignore, not pay attention to, not take care of. So when you don't pay attention to something, you don't take care of something, you are neglecting it. Okay? So the difference here is, the question that we are trying to ask is क्या हम ये कर सकते हैं, not क्या हम ये करेंगे. So will is not an option here. We're not asking for permission for something, so may is not an option here. Need we afford to neglect children, तो sense ही नहीं बना question का, right? Okay. All right. Doubts clear. Moving on. Oof, another reported speech question. Father, why ask so many questions, Lata? Lata, I believe that if you don't know the answer, keep asking till you do. Okay, so father asked Lata the reason for the many questions she was asking. Lata exclaimed good-humoredly that in event of not knowing the answer, one should. What is the correct answer? इसमें दो options हम eliminate करेंगे. So you really know the value of process of elimination. It's such a useful process. A lot of you watch KBC, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति में भी लोग ये करते हैं कि आपको confusion हो सकता है कि correct answer क्या है, but आपको अगर definitely पता है wrong answer क्या है तो उसको हटा दो ना, right? So इसमें one do, the pronoun one, do we use do with it? We don't, right? That's wrong. So C or D तो वैसे ही गलत हो गए because one के साथ हमेशा we'll use does. Okay? So keep asking till one does, kept asking till one does. इसमें tense का issue हो गया. So we'll see कि keep होना चाहिए कि kept होना चाहिए. Okay? That one should. Should modal verb इधर आ गया है. Should के बाद हम we won't use the past form of the verb. Prachi, are you sure of not knowing the answer? One should. अगर मैं should use कर रही हूँ, think about it this way. If I'm using the word should, I am giving you a suggestion. I'm saying you should do this, मतलब आपको ये करना चाहिए. So how are you using a past tense verb after something जो आपने अभी तक किया भी नहीं है? This is something that you haven't done. Then how can you use the past tense form of the verb? You cannot, right? So as everyone is saying, should के बाद V1 form लगेगा, so we cannot use kept. There is no possibility of using kept after should. See, Tanu, you're saying kept is past and was asking is also in the past. That's correct. But here, you cannot ignore the word should here. Okay? Lata is saying that you should do this. Okay? You should do this. Matlab, this is my suggestion to you. That this is something that if you do it, it will be good. Okay? So that doesn't mean you have done it. Because I have suggested it, you might do it later. But you haven't done it already. Correct? So after should, we cannot use the past form of the verb. So the correct answer is A. Keep asking till one does. Alright. Now, identify the error on a shop's hoarding and then you have to give the correction. So again, this is not a multiple choice. In this you have to spot the error also and give the correction also. Okay? Here we go. Massive. So it's Gumnam and Daughters Private Limited in Bindapur, Jharkhand. Massive discount for all senior citizen vaccinated with the precautionary dose. Massive discount for all senior citizen vaccinated with the precautionary dose. Now here, okay, Aarti has always given the answer. So here the answer given to you is all and each. That is the correct answer, because this is trying to test your subject verb concord. So all के साथ will, but plural form of citizen will also be correct. Yes, so we can say massive discount for all senior citizens vaccinated with a precautionary dose. So I don't see why that is incorrect. So even though the answer given to you is all, should be each, which is also very correct. I don't see why changing citizen to citizens would be wrong. Okay. I wonder why it's not given as a possible correct answer, but I cannot find a reason why it's wrong. Maybe if I'm missing out on something, I don't know, but I don't find a reason why it should be wrong. So I will accept both as correct answers. All right. Massive means huge. Massive means huge. So huge discount for all senior citizens vaccinated, or each senior citizen vaccinated with the precautionary dose. All right. Oh, that brings us to the end of grammar. No, Rohan, citizen by itself is not plural. So I am a citizen, we are all citizens. So we can add S to it and make it a plural when we want to talk about citizens as plural. Okay, so here you can, so basically there's no point of writing the letter together again. You have a sample given to you. It correctly tells you what needs to be in it. Basically, first thing that you can easily take care of is make sure you have everything in place. You have your sender's address, date, receiver's address and all of that, which we will see in the format, and we'll check if everything is there. And then you just need to make sure that your letter is, you read the prompt that's given to you. You read why you have to write a letter. Give a nice introduction of who you are, what the situation is. Give a nice body of what your proposed changes are, and then write a good conclusion, and that's the end of your letter. So the body of your letter pretty much should answer the prompt, and the intro and conclusion should both flow logically with the body of the letter. So you just need to aptly answer the prompt. Make sure you have all your things in place, the format in place, and you will get all your marks for the letter. Okay? ठीक है. तो इसमें क्या confusion है ये मेरे से पूछो, फिर मैं बताऊंगी. क्योंकि इधर, okay, let's go. We have to write a letter to the editor, and in not more than 120 words, drawing attention towards harm caused by such advertising. So पहली बात तो आपको पता है कि आप किसको exactly letter लिख रहे हो. Editor of the DWA. Okay? And you need to propose the implementation of wholesome lunch month. This is very important. ठीक है? So as a counter to this, which is a dangerous thing, ये जो fad diet है, it's a dangerous thing. So as a counter to this, you're proposing wholesome lunch month. Okay? And it's an idea to address such practices, mention the advantages and share suggestions. So you know, to foster healthy eating routines means to develop these healthy habits and to keep these healthy habits. ठीक है? Okay. So, what are the three things that we'll be doing? Address such practices, mention the advantages and share suggestions to foster healthy eating routines. and develop positive body image among youngsters. What is a positive body image? That you are not, your youngsters should not feel like there's only a certain type of a body type that's a good body type, and they should not have unrealistic expectations from their own bodies and feel like they should look like that. All body types are good body types. Okay, so that is a positive body image. So address अगर नहीं दिया हुआ तो आप fictional address बनाओगे. Obviously if it's not exactly given to you in your prompt, you will come up with a fictitious address. You will come up with a fictional receiver's sender's address also, right? I mean, here you have your name, you're the vice captain of this school. So whatever information you can extrapolate from the prompt, you will use that. और बाकी जो missing pieces of information है, you will make those up. Use your creativity. Okay? Alright, so now we know what all needs to be done. We'll quickly check if all of this is there in the example letter and why that's a good example letter. Okay, so the first thing that's there is you have the sender's address. Okay, sender's address है यहाँ पे, date है यहाँ पे. Okay, then you have the receiver's address over here. Okay, तो इसी में points आपको marks मिलते रहेंगे to have all of these things in place. And notice how, see, Brilliant Vidyalaya is used, or everything that's given in your prompt you need to use. Okay, then only they'll know that you've read the prompt correctly, right? And then you have the subject that is necessary. ठीक है? Now इसमें आप subject के बाद salutation दे रहे हो. Alternatively, you can do salutation and subject. Then you have the body of the letter. Okay, you have the complimentary close. And after the complimentary close, you sign your name. और उसके बाद because you know, you give your signature, but because you know कि आपकी designation क्या है prompt में दिया हुआ है, then use it. You have it, so you use it, right? You know your vice president, so you use that. Okay? Receiver's address means किसके पास letter कौन भेज रहा है, वो sender है. Letter कौन किसको भेज रहा है, वो receiver है. मैं आपको लेटर भेज रही हूँ तो मैं सेंडर हूँ, आप रिसीवर हो. आप मुझे लेटर भेज रहे हो तो मैं रिसीवर हूँ, आप सेंडर हो. अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल राइट द एड्रेस ऑफ बोथ दीज पीपल. ठीक है? Obviously you need the content of the letter, that is very important. Now the prompt itself told us the different things that we need to add in the letter. Okay, we are, and yeah, I see it right here, the proposal for wholesome lunch month. So पहले हम problem बताएंगे. So as soon as we start our letter, the reason why we are writing the letter, we'll acknowledge that right in the beginning. तो शुरू में हम बोल देंगे कि problem क्या है. Problem ये है कि there are posters bearing the message of a diet, a crash diet or a fat diet, and it's here it's written, such posters impact the youngsters negatively and can be hazardous for their self-esteem. So you can write this in your own words. You're addressing the problem. You're saying that I saw these posters and these posters have a negative impact. Okay, so here you have clearly stated that the posters are the problem and they're a problem because they have a negative impact. And then you move on to giving your suggestions. Okay, and let's come back and see, everything is written here. Address such practices, mention advantages and share suggestions to foster healthy eating habits, right? So I would like the idea of implementing wholesome lunch month to counter the implications of misleading advertisement. It's to encourage students to bring nutritious and healthy lunch and develop healthy eating routines. To ensure that this project gains strength, schools may organize puppet shows. So here, how can you inspire learners to foster such habits, to develop such habits? It's by organizing puppet shows, street plays, TED Talks, and encompassing a theme to foster healthy routines and positive body image. So you've done everything. Let's go back and check. You have addressed the practice, you have mentioned the advantage, and you have shared suggestions on how to do it. ठीक है? So you've done everything. In the end, you are giving a conclusion. And what are your expectations? why are you writing this letter? What do you expect out of the receiver? You're saying, I hope that publishing of my letter in the columns of your renowned daily helps spread awareness and promotes a healthy lifestyle among students. So हमेशा ending में आप क्या लिखोगे? आप लिखोगे कि आपकी expectations क्या है, आप क्या चाहते हो, आप ये letter क्यों लिख रहे हो, इससे क्या होगा. All of this will come at the end. So here we want spread awareness and promote a healthy lifestyle among students. See, this is good content in a letter. You have addressed everything in the prompt. Introduction, you have stated your problem. Body, you have done everything that was given in the prompt. And in the end, you have written down your expectations from the receiver. Okay? And they have told you that whenever it's to an editor, yours truly is the preferred complimentary clause. So use yours truly here. For others, we can use yours sincerely. For a formal letter or a business letter, you can use yours sincerely. To an editor, you use yours truly. Alright? And because, don't be like, I will not put this information in, it's not necessary. It's given to you, you put it in. Okay? Whatever is given to you, you need to put it in. So, keep this format in mind, know how to organize your content, and you will get full marks for your letter. Okay? Easy peasy. Now again, here is the other prompt. I'm not showing you the letter, but this you can do in your own time. You will look at the prompt, you will go to the PDF, you will see that in the sample answer that's given to you, are all of the things that are given in the prompt, are they all being addressed in the body? In fact, you can try writing a letter on this prompt and then compare it with the letter that's given. Okay? Alright, now here is your creative writing section. Here we have, now in any analytical paragraph, you will have to analyze something, right? Some type of data will be given to you which you have to make sense of. And so when you get this kind of information, it can appear in any form. It can be, like a table like this. It can be a flow chart. It can be a graph. It can be any other kinds of statistics. ठीक है? तो एनालिटिकल पैराग्राफ में क्या आएगा, आपको किसी भी रूप में डेटा आ सकता है, बस लिखा हुआ नहीं आएगा क्योंकि लिखने का काम आपका है. ठीक है, तो आपको उसको देख के समझना है. अब समझोगे कैसे, पहले प्रॉम्प्ट पढ़ेंगे. उसमें लिखा है कि गुरमीत कौर is an aspiring candidate for a public funded engineering college in the suburbs. She belongs to a nearby village, has minimal technological skills and exposure, has the required cutoff percentage and is looking for a complete or partial scholarship. ठीक है, तो आप चेकलिस्ट बनाओ. ठीक है, ये जो आपको बोल रहे हैं कि गुरमीत कौर है, क्या क्या इसके स्ट्रेंथ्स और वीकनेसेस खुद के क्या क्या हैं. ये she belongs to a nearby village. उसको टेक्नोलॉजिकल स्किल्स और एक्सपोजर नहीं है, मतलब कंप्यूटर, इंटरनेट, फोन, गैजेट्स, ये सब कुछ यूज करना अच्छे से नहीं आता होगा. ओके, हैज रिक्वायर्ड कट ऑफ, मतलब कट ऑफ अच्छी है, एडमिशन मिल जाएगा कॉलेज में. एंड इज लुकिंग फॉर अ कंप्लीट और पार्शियल स्कॉलरशिप. एडमिशन मिल जाएगा लेकिन स्कॉलरशिप की जरूरत है, कंप्लीट या पार्शियल, पूरी या थोड़ी. ठीक है, तो राइट अ पैराग्राफ इन अबाउट 100 to 120 words analyzing her SWOT notes, strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. Okay, notes to support your stand on whether she should or should not join this college. तो गुरमीत कौर ने एक कॉलेज के बारे में ये नोट्स बनाए हैं जो आपको दिख रहे हैं. इसमें she has listed out क्या क्या strengths, मतलब अच्छी बातें क्या क्या हैं कॉलेज के बारे में, weaknesses मतलब क्या क्या खराब है कॉलेज में, opportunities मतलब उसको कैसे बेनिफिट करेगा ये कॉलेज, उसके लिए क्या अच्छा होगा, on threats कि उसके लिए खराब क्या हो सकता है. Okay, so here we are doing an entire session on writing, so let's not spend too much time here on this. I won't read this out, but basically I'll explain the approach that you need to take. You first read all the points. इसमें से see what points make sense to you. Do the weaknesses and threats make more sense to you, or do the strengths and opportunities make more sense to you? And not sense to you as a person. Not कि श्रीवल्ली के लिए, पुष्पा के लिए, अंकित के लिए ये अच्छा है. नहीं, गुरमीत कौर के लिए अच्छा है कि नहीं है. ठीक है, उस नजरिए से एनालाइज करके you are going to pick a side. You are going to either decide कि हाँ ये college अच्छा है या नहीं ये college अच्छा नहीं है. As soon as you pick a side, you are going to use the points given. Okay? Now इसमें एक for example इसमें अंडर यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ IT सर्विसेज है. अब गुरमीत कौर को ऑलरेडी मिनिमल टेक्नोलॉजिकल स्किल्स का एक्सपोजर है, तो अगर यहाँ पे अंडर यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ IT सर्विसेज है तो उसको बिल्कुल ही एक्सपोजर नहीं मिलेगा. सो दैट कैन बी वन आर्ग्यूमेंट. Or you can say she already doesn't know about technological services, so how does IT matter to her? That can be one argument. So whatever argument you pick, just justify it. Okay, we will do this in detail, so don't worry. Right now we will be moving on from this. Again, you have examples of in support and you have examples of against. So you need to read both of these examples and see if they have used the points from the notes accurately or not. Okay. Now the other kind of question in your creative writing segment is when you have to present an argument for or against something. Here you are given an excerpt from an online post of a website on educational practices. Okay, so now you have to write 100 and 120 words to analyze the given arguments. You could think about what alternative explanations might weaken or strengthen and counter the given argument. Might weaken the given conclusion and include rationale or evidence that would strengthen or counter the given argument. Okay, so here just make sure, actually suburbs just means the outskirts of a city. एक main city होती है, एक city के आसपास जगह होती है, right? Those are the suburbs. And then you need to, so coming back to this question, you need to analyze what works for or against, pick a side accurately, and then once you're done picking a side, you need to justify that side very, very well. Okay? So what will get you high marks? You have to, the points that you include need to flow in a logical, cohesive manner. You cannot be like, हाँ ये भी होता है पर ये भी हो सकता है. That's not going to work. You need to also make sure that your spelling, punctuation, grammar for most part is correct. ठीक है, थोड़ी बहुत mistakes हो जाती है, सबसे हो जाती है, that's okay. But बहुत ऐसी गलतियां नहीं होनी चाहिए कि समझ में ना आए कि लिखा क्या है. So you need to make sure for a fact that everything you say is comprehensible. The person who's reading it will understand it. All right. So because we are doing another session on writing, I'm not going to go into the entire exemplar given, but now let's quickly go through the literature section in the sample paper. And here we have a question from Glimpses of India, and we have these kind of questions where you will be given extracts. So ये questions अच्छे क्यों हैं? You don't have to recall what was given in the chapter, ठीक है? And now quickly give me a thumbs up if you've read all of your literature syllabus or if you're yet to read some. Give me a thumbs up if you've read all of it. Oh my, so many thumbs ups. Okay, great. Need to read. Okay, so because some of you are yet to read, we will have a one-shot literature in which we'll go into detail. So right now we won't spend a lot of time analyzing all of these literature questions. So we will quickly go over them. If you have a specific doubt about something, then in that case, let me know and we'll go over that question specifically. All right? Okay. So here, Glimpses of India, if you've read it, then you know Pranjal and Rajveer are having this conversation about tea estates, and Pranjal was brought up on a plantation, so not very excited about it. Rajveer is very, very excited to see it. Okay, so here, if you read the extract itself, you'll understand that, hey, a tea garden, Rajveer cried excitedly. Pranjal, who had been born and brought up on a plantation, didn't share Rajveer's excitement. So here's your key point here, did not share Rajveer's excitement. Oh, this is a tea country now, he said. Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. मतलब gardens, tea gardens देख देख के मेरा मन भर गया है. जिंदगी भर के लिए मैंने देख लिए tea gardens. Okay? So, when we go to question, why was Pranjal not as excited as Rajveer about the tea gardens? We have a direct link to the answer in the extract. It is because he had grown up in and around tea gardens. Obviously, जो मैं रोज देखती हूँ, मैं उसको रोज देख देख के excited नहीं होंगी, पर शायद कोई जो बाहर से आया, जो पहली बार ही देख रहा है, वो excited हो जाएगा. So because Pranjal grew up around this, he was not too excited about this. And there's a direct, I've underlined that sentence, direct connection in the extract and the question. ठीक है? Now here's the next question. What does Pranjal mean by saying that Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world? It means that the cultivation of tea, now you can use synonyms of cultivation, you can use harvesting, you can use any other word. So the cultivation of tea is the highest in Assam, okay? So it has the largest concentration of plantation. Concentration means a large number of or amount of something in one place. ठीक है? Moving on, Pranjal's blank comes through clearly when he exclaims, "You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime." So इसका मैंने translation आपको दिया था. What this means is कि मैंने जिंदगी भर के लिए देख लिए, अब मुझे और नहीं देखने. Tea gardens. So what kind of word can we fill in the blank here? We can fill frustration, we can fill exasperation. ये जो emotion है, the is exasperation. कि मेरा मन भर गया है, मैं पक चुका हूँ ये देख देख के. ठीक है? So excitement नहीं है, it's actually the opposite of excitement. Okay? It's frustration, it's exasperation. Okay? Irritation. मैं irritate हो गया हूँ देख देख के tea gardens. I don't want to see any more tea gardens. Okay? Rajveer is excited. On the contrary, Pranjal is not very excited. ठीक है? Now, how according to Rajveer does the world know about the discovery of tea? Now here the last sentence, I have been reading as much as I could about tea. Rajveer said, no one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. Okay? So he's saying that there are many legends, and later on in the story, he gives examples of how it was discovered by a Chinese emperor and by a Buddhist monk. So there are many tales, many legends regarding this, but no one really knows for sure ki who discovered tea. So the correct answer would in this case be traditional tales. Okay? Alright. Now, select the option that correctly captures the application of the word cried as used in line 1 of the extract. Now here, hey, a tea garden. Rajveer cried excitedly. Cried excitedly मतलब ये नहीं है कि रो के बोल रहा है. Crying here doesn't mean crying मतलब रोना. Here it means कि बहुत जोश के साथ बोलना. When he cried out loud मतलब उसने बहुत जोर से बोला है. Okay? So Rajveer cried excitedly मतलब he was very excited, so he spoke out loud. So the only sentence that uses cried in this way is sentence B. Jaspreet cried out loud when he saw a white tiger in the sanctuary. Now he cried out loud मतलब उसने जोर की बोला है. Now जोर के डर के बोला है, excitement में बोला है, that's not specified, but we know for sure that he has spoken loudly. Okay? Alright. Now here's another extract. Now this is from the book that saved the earth, which was Mother Goose, and the extract, you have all read the sample paper, right? So we'll quickly skip past reading the extract. We'll only go read the lines that are necessary to answer questions. Okay? Now select the option that correctly captures the usage of the word present from line 1 of the extract. Okay. It shall be done, sir. This is Omega saying, it shall be done, sir. Remove vitamins, present vitamins. Okay. Now, present के कितने मतलब है? Present मतलब present tense. Okay. Present मतलब a gift. Okay. present something matlab when you speak about something, you are presenting something, right? So there are multiple meanings of this word. So we have to find out what the meaning of the word here is, and then where is it being used in the same way. So here we can see that remove vitamins, present vitamins. Present in this case means to provide, okay? Provide, give, or make something known, show. So here the only option that's using present in the same way is option B. Iota needs to present his opinion firmly, okay? Present here, present your opinion means make your opinion known or give your opinion, right? So this is the sentence that you haven't read the chapter yet. That's fine. When you read it, it'll make sense. But here we're just drawing a connection of how a word is used in a certain place and which options use the word in the same way. Okay? Alright, no worries, Tanu. So here again, this is more of a vocab question than pertaining to the literature aspect of this particular chapter. So we'll go through it quickly. Now, frown is to smile, what gloomily is to, and we need to select a word from the text. So frown and smile are what? Opposites. So we need to find an opposite of gloomy. So gloomily, very good. Aarti is saying brightly. Okay. Great. I'm just looking if there's there's brightly here. And is there another word? The problem simultaneously they had. Okay, I can only see brightly right now. If there are any other synonyms of brightly here, we can use them as well. Great, okay, so brightly works. We have brightly in the text. And it's the opposite of gloomily. Great. Next question. Select the option that displays the reason why all crew members were asked to have vitamins. And the reason why they were asked to have vitamins, you need to know the story for this. But even if you read the extract, they didn't know how to read. They were opening up books. They didn't know what the concept of books was. And so they needed to find out how to read. And so there were special vitamins that made them more intelligent. So the reason why they took the vitamins was to accomplish a specific task, which was to read what's written in the book, which they thought was a secret code. Okay? They've come from Mars to take over Earth and they didn't know the concept of books and what was written. So they took these vitamins to accomplish a specific task. Alright. Now, according to the extract, what did think tank most likely want Omega to do when he said transcribe? Now, transcribe means to make a complete written record of spoken or written words. Okay. So, if somebody is speaking and I'm typing exactly what they're saying, I'm transcribing what they're saying. Okay. So, in this situation, when think tank wanted Omega to do, transcribe, that meant he wanted Omega to translate what was written because it was written in English and interpret because they thought it was a code, so they didn't know what it meant, so they wanted think tank wanted Omega to interpret it. Okay, so the answer would be B, 2 and 4. Correct. Alright, so since we haven't read, most of us, this chapter. Okay, Srivali is asking, how do we need to read the lesson in the exam point of view and how to tackle this? See, if you know, see, vocabulary won't be that hard. Gloomily ka matlab sabko pata hi tha. There was nobody who didn't know the meaning of gloomily, right? You just, the connection you need to make is ki wo, what X is to Y, X is to Y, what A is to B mein jo aapko pooch rahe hain, this format of asking a question, you need to know X and Y synonyms hai ki antonyms hai, and they won't be that difficult. Frown and smile is not difficult, right? You know. Okay? So don't hyper focus on this one thing ki synonyms and antonyms pata hona chahiye. Okay, just generally vocabulary badhao. How you'll do that? When you're reading your chapter, if you don't know the meaning of a specific word, you will just look it up, right? So you don't have to stress out too much about knowing synonyms and antonyms. You just need to know the meaning of certain words, okay? So I'm just going to skip over that question. You haven't read the chapter. When we do the one-shot literature, we'll tackle all kinds of questions for it, okay? No worries here. Here, okay, quickly we'll go through few more, 2-3 more questions. Then we'll end this session for today. If you still have doubts about any question, if you're like, oh, I can't understand why this is the correct answer, you leave those in the comments. Next session we'll tackle all of them, okay? Anything from the literature section that you don't understand. Abhi hum 2-3 questions aur dekh lete hain, and then we'll move on, okay? Now here we have a personification involved. So I think this is figurative language is something a lot of you struggle with. So let's tackle this first. Now you have read the poem The Trees. Give me a thumbs up if you've read the poem The Trees. Even if you haven't, you will notice that in your chapter आपको वो poet के बारे में भी कुछ बताते हैं. And the reason why they tell you about the poet is so that you know the intention with which the poet wrote the poem. ठीक है? And in your textbook itself, उसमें लिखा हुआ है that the poet of this poem was a feminist. Okay, which means that she believed in equality for women. She's fought for women's rights. तो आप उस perspective से जब ये poem को पढ़ोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा that it's not about trees. Okay, trees are just a symbol used for women. Okay, so there's symbolism in the poem. So if we read this extract, the trees inside are moving out into the forest. The forest that was empty all these days, where no bird could sit, no insect hide, no sun bury its feet in shadow. The forest that was empty all these nights will be full of trees by morning. Okay? So forest is the outside world. Trees in this situation is women. Okay? And it is clear that personification is the poetic device used for no sun bury its feet. Because का reason आपको देना है. So here you have no sun bury its feet given to you. They are telling you that ये लो ये personification है, मुझे बताओ कैसे. So how will you say कैसे? You will say that sun is a non-human object, right? And so it cannot do things that humans can, yet we are making it bury its feet. Okay? So because the sun, which is non-human, is attributed with the human feature of having feet. Okay? We are saying that the sun has feet and it's also doing something with its feet. It's burying its feet. Kabhi you're sitting in the sand, अपने पैरों से गड्ढा खोद के sand के नीचे अपने पैर डाल देते हो, that's burying your feet. Or you can bury your feet in a blanket, anywhere you want, ठीक है, किसी भी चीज के अंदर डाल के. So we are attributing that feature that human beings do to the sun. That's why this is personification. ठीक है? So we'll go skip some questions over here since we are a little short on time. But we will be having sessions on this, so don't worry. Okay, now here another poem for Anne Gregory. But I can get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair may love me for myself alone and not my yellow hair. ठीक है? तो इसमें the entire poem is a conversation with this man and a woman between them, and the man is saying that, you know, all the men fall for your beautiful yellow hair, and now the woman is arguing in this particular extract that I can change the color of my hair. All right, I can color it black. So right now it's yellow. Yellow means blonde. So I can color it black. I can color it brown. I can color it orange or red, carrot, whatever the carrot color is. And the young men in despair, so the young men who are seeking my affection, should love me for myself, my inner self, and not for my yellow hair. Okay? And so here, what's the poet's tone in this extract? The poet is arguing with the first paragraph. She's saying that no, that's not true. My hair color is not everything that's good about me, because I can easily change it, right? So she's argumentative, and the poet is also agitated. That, you know, why is everyone fixated on outer beauty when they should be looking at inner beauty instead? ठीक है? All right. Now we'll also skip through. So we'll do this in detail soon, don't worry. Again, see, here is a vocabulary question like you were asking. Such easy words. Yellow is to blonde. Like I told you, yellow hair means blonde hair. So yellow is to blonde. What? Blank is to carrot. So carrot color kya hoga? Carrot can be orange. But do you see people with orange hair? Mostly we call them redheads, right? We said they have red hair. So you can either say orange, you can say red. Both will be accepted as correct answers. ठीक है? So what? Yellow is to blonde, red or orange, whatever you choose, is to carrot. ठीक है? All right. Now we'll look at little longer. I think the last thing we'll do is we'll look at a long answer so that we sort of know how to structure it. We'll look at other answers in detail later on. Don't worry. So you have all the value points given to you. Just go over them. Muskan, we are doing questions from the sample paper. I'm just skipping because of lack of time a little bit. I'm just skipping over. And हम लोग literature पे session कर रहे हैं. तो उसमें हम सारे questions discuss कर लेंगे. जिनमें भी doubt हो, हम discuss कर लेंगे. ठीक है? तो ये चलो. Let's look at probably the last question. ठीक है, this is the last question. ये देख लेते हैं. Honor among thieves is considered a popular quote. Examine a question of trust as a story woven around this quote. ठीक है? So, okay, Dreamer will take care of that. Gray or black and white characters. Don't worry. I have noted that down. अभी ये देख लेते हैं जल्दी से. So here you are supposed to write a long answer, 100 to 120 words. Okay, now how is the story woven around this quote? तो पहले हमें समझना है कि what does honor among thieves means. See, by nature thieves are not honorable. They're deceitful. उनका काम ही लोगों को deceive करके होता है. ठीक है? मैं आके नहीं बोलूंगी कि मैं प्लीज मुझे चोरी करने दो, मैं चोरी करना चाहती हूँ, राइट? मैं आपको कैसे ना कैसे बुद्धू बनाऊंगी और फिर चोरी करूंगी, राइट? सो देयर इज नो ऑनर इन थीव्स एज सच, बट देयर इज ऑनर अमंग थीव्स. इसका ये मतलब है दैट अ थीफ विल नेवर बिट्रे अ थीफ, दैट अ थीफ विल ऑलवेज लुक आउट फॉर अ फेलो थीफ. थीफ कभी थीफ को धोखा नहीं देगा. थीफ बाकी पूरी दुनिया को धोखा देगा जिससे चोरी करनी है, लेकिन एक और थीफ को धोखा नहीं देगा. ठीक है? तो दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस. बट हमारी स्टोरी में क्या होता है? हमारी स्टोरी में एग्जैक्ट ऑपोजिट ऑफ दिस पॉपुलर कोड होता है. हमारी स्टोरी में अ थीफ ओनली डिसीव्स another thief, and that is why the first thief ends up going to jail. So the lady in red who fools the man into believing that she is actually the owner of that safe was actually a thief who uses her deceitful tactics to fool the first thief, and he lands up in jail because of her. So honor among thieves was broken in this case. It was not followed in this case. ठीक है? So it is believed that thieves never double cross each other. That's what it means. But then the protagonist, Horace Danby, was careful and meticulous in his theft which he conducted once a year, and he didn't anticipate the role of the lady in red. The lady in red made a fool of him in spite of being a thief herself. She did not follow the code of honoring other thieves, and this resulted in Horace Danby going to jail. So this is what you're going to write. You're going to first explain कि honor among thieves का मतलब क्या होता है, इस code का मतलब क्या होता है, and then you're going to talk about how in the story this code is not followed or is broken by a thief. All right? Okay, so I think that wraps up the session for today. I know we had to skip over the literature questions, but अगर किसी में भी doubt है, then you leave that in the comments, and जब हमारी literature का session होगा, then we'll take care of those questions. Okay? And I believe I'm seeing you again on Wednesday. Okay, Tanu? So, see you then. ठीक है श्रीवल्ली, I'll give you good options next time. I'll have to do some research myself and I'll suggest good, but Google पे ही there are vocabulary games. You know, when you search for meanings, you can play games नीचे when they'll ask you to give synonyms or antonyms of certain words. So that game only you can play. That's very helpful. All right. Thank you so much. This was very good. You were very participative and you, I believe, were able to understand everything. So that's great. That gives you the confidence that you will fare well in your exams, and anything that you don't know or are struggling with, like error correction, modals, jo bhi hai, that we will together work on and fix before your exams. Okay? Alright, so before we say goodbye, just a few reminders for you. ANTHE will get you up to a 100% scholarship. It will get you a trip to NASA. So what are you waiting for? Enroll for free. Take the test offline or online, wherever you want. Come on, those of you who still haven't, कर लो. ऐसे मौके बार बार नहीं आते. ठीक है? शोभनाथ, अगर मैं सिर्फ हिंदी में बोलूंगी तो फिर कभी इंग्लिश नहीं आएगी. इंग्लिश सुन के भी इंग्लिश आती है, तो इंग्लिश सुनने की भी आदत डालो. कुछ बिल्कुल ही नहीं समझ आएगा तो बोलो कि प्लीज हिंदी में भी बता दो, लेकिन सिर्फ हिंदी में बोलूंगी तो इंग्लिश कैसे सीखोगे? ओके नागा, नो प्रॉब्लम. ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट टू यू. आई एम श्योर यू आर गोइंग टू बी फैंटास्टिक. ठीक है, ज्वाइन टेलीग्राम. जैसे ये पीडीएफ के लिंक्स मैं टेलीग्राम पे डलवा दूंगी तो आपको सब कुछ मिल जाएगा, जो जो आपका रेफरेंस मटेरियल है. आपको सेशन नोट्स भी मिल जाएंगे एंड यू विल नो व्हेन द नेक्स्ट सेशन इज हैपनिंग. तो डू ज्वाइन द टेलीग्राम चैनल. वीव गॉट यू कवर्ड एज ऑलवेज. All you need to do is like, subscribe and press the bell icon. तो नहीं किया तो कर लो. Okay? And check out BYJU'S classes with the 2-teacher advantage. Very, very helpful to hone your skills as homework, testing, reporting, PTA meetings, everything that will make you a lot better and help you not just figure out your syllabus but also improve in the real life. All right? So all the links are in the description box. Free trial classes are there. Make use of them and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.